The hallway smelled faintly of old books and cheap cologne, the kind you only notice when you're already running late for class. 17-year-old Alex brushed past lockers painted in chipped blue, pretending not to notice the stairs. Hi. School wasn't exactly the kind of place where you could be invisible, especially not when rumors already had your name tangled up in them. But today wasn't about the rumors. Today was about her. Taylor stood by the water fountain, hair the color of copper catching the morning light. She wasn't looking at Alex, not yet, but Alex could already feel her heartbeat quicken, the way it always did when Taylor was near. They'd met in sophomore English, over a shared copy of The Great Gatsby. Alex had hated the book. Taylor had loved it. That was the first time they'd argued, voices low, cheeks flushed, before laughing about how silly it was to fight over fictional people. That was also the first time Alex realized Taylor's laugh could make the rest of the world fade out like the end of a song. In small-town America, there's a certain kind of love people don't expect teenagers to understand. They call it a phase or a mistake. But for Alex, it wasn't either of those things. It was the first time she felt like the person she was pretending to be and the person she actually was had started to overlap. It started with study sessions in the library, then late-night texts about homework that drifted into talking about music, movies, and what they wanted from life. Somewhere between 1 a.m. and I should sleep now, Alex had fallen in love. The first time they touched was by accident fingers, brushing when Taylor passed her a pen. The second time wasn't an accident. It was the Friday after a football game neither of them cared about. They ended up in Alex's room, a blanket tossed on the floor, the glow of fairy lights softening the space. They talked about everything: college, how scary it was to leave home, how Taylor's parents still thought she'd marry some boy from the team. When Taylor leaned closer, Alex could smell the faint sweetness of vanilla lip balm. "Can I?" Taylor asked, voice barely above a whisper. Alex didn't answer with words. She just closed the space between them. It wasn't perfect. Their noses bumped. Taylor laughed nervously. But when their lips finally met, it was slow, warm, and nothing like the movies. Alex felt something deep inside her chest loosen, like she'd been holding her breath for years without realizing it. Days turned into weeks. They weren't official, not in the way other couples in school were. They didn't hold hands in the hallway or post couple photos on Instagram. Instead, they carved out their own private world. Empty classrooms after school, notes slipped into lockers, whispered goodnights on the phone until one of them fell asleep. But love doesn't always stay hidden. One afternoon, they were sitting under the bleachers, the sound of a soccer game echoing above. Taylor's hand was resting against Alex's, their fingers barely touching. They didn't notice the shadow until it fell over them. Chad Miller, captain of the soccer team and self-proclaimed king of gossip. The next day, the whispers began. Some of their friends stopped talking to them. Others made jokes loud enough for them to hear. Alex tried to act like it didn't matter, but it did. Taylor started avoiding crowded spaces, her smile growing tighter every day. It all came to a head one Friday night. Taylor showed up at Alex's door, eyes red, hoodie pulled tight around her face. "My mom knows," she said, voice trembling. She found her text. Alex's stomach sank. "What happened?" She said, "I'm confused. But I just need to date a boy and it'll go away." Taylor's voice cracked. "I don't want it to go away, Alex. I don't want you to go away." Alex pulled her close, holding her until the shaking slowed. That night, they lay side by side, fingers intertwined, hearts beating in sync. No words, just breathing like the silence between waves before they crash. The weeks that followed were a mix of beauty and ache. There were moments when Alex could almost believe everything would be fine, like when they danced barefoot in her bedroom to a playlist of old love songs, or when Taylor traced shapes on her palm and whispered, "You make me feel like I belong somewhere." But there were also moments that felt like goodbyes. College acceptance letters arrived in the spring. Alex was going to New York. Taylor was staying in state. They both knew distance could change everything, but they also knew they'd regret it forever if they let fear decide for them. On the last day of school, they met by the old oak tree behind the football field. The sky was heavy with summer heat, cicadas buzzing in the background. Taylor handed Alex a folded piece of paper. "Open it when you miss me," she said. Alex wanted to say something poetic, something that would make this moment last forever. But all she could do was kiss her soft, slow, memorizing the taste of vanilla and the feel of her hair between her fingers. When they pulled apart, Taylor smiled through her tears. "You were my first love," she said, "and you'll always be my favorite." That night, Alex lay in bed, staring at the paper in her hand. She opened it to find a drawing of the two of them under the oak tree, their hands touching. Below, it in Taylor's messy handwriting were 3 words: "Don't forget me." Years later, Alex would look back and realize that first love isn't about how long it lasts. It's about how it changes you, how it makes you braver, softer, more yourself. And somewhere in a box under her bed, she'd still keep that drawing, edges worn, ink faded, but the feeling as sharp as the day it was drawn, because some loves don't end. They just live quietly inside you, forever 17, under the summer sky.